Hi guys, thanks for joining. Just waiting for UK Harvest to join. How is everyone today? Thanks for joining. Hi, Sarah, how are you?
Can you see and hear me okay?
I can see and hear you perfectly.
That's brilliant. And technology works. Amazing.
So thank you so much for coming on. This is Sarah Morison from UK Harvest. Everyone that's joined so far, hopefully we'll get a few more people as time goes on. So UK Harvest is a food sort of food waste charity, I'd say. You know, trying to feed the nation at this time, which is an amazing thing to be doing. So we wanted to hop on with Sarah and sort of discuss UK Harvest and everything they get up to and the work they do and how you can help them and how they can help you. So we'll be discussing things. If you've got any questions, just leave them below. We'll try and answer them, and there'll be a playback of this on the website and on our YouTube channel afterwards. So if you have to leave for any reason, or your connection drops out, or you come in halfway through, there will be a playback. So Sarah, so if you want to just start by sort of talking us through what UK Harvest is, what they do, that would be really great.
Absolutely. Thanks, Gemma. UK Harvest was literally set up in 2017. So we're quite a young charity. We're very much an environmental charity, as we prevent food waste. The whole idea is we capture that food that would otherwise go to waste. So it might be surplus food right across the supply chain. And that's farmers, growers, producers, wholesalers, distributors, live events, any food that might otherwise get wasted. And actually 80% of what we rescue is perishable. So it's fresh fruit and veg. So you're working to quite tight timings, because it literally can rot in front of you, and we need to capture that and redistribute it to people who really need it. So that's the environmental level. But what's so fantastic is taking something that would otherwise go to waste and ensure that those who really do need it, and that's homeless refugees, domestic abuse shelters. We've got a network of almost 300 charities right across the south of England that we support through this donated food. But there's another project I'll tell you about in a minute. So we're super busy collecting the food and redistributing it to those who need it. But I think the important thing is some food redistribution charities are literally about logistics. We're really strong believers that if you wrap everything we do around with education, it's no good giving someone a butternut squash if they don't know what to do with it. So we're really about equipping people to learn some budget-friendly, quick, easy tips that they can use in the kitchen to expand their diet and build up healthy, nutritious foods with meals with the food that we provide.
Great. And I noticed on your website you have a whole bit about recipes, easy recipes. You've got some nice pancakes on there, frittatas, delicious things. My mouth was watering when I was looking at it all. But really great that you have that kind of online presence, like you say, that education presence. You've got some videos. I think they're called the Hairy Harvesters. That's great. Great initiative. That's some really good videos of making sort of easy things. And like you say, I think it's great. You know, it's one thing to give people food, and then another thing to sort of educate them how they can make things out of it. And there's so many things you can make out of, you know, some tomatoes. You can make a range of things. And you know, I think it's really great that that sort of online platforms there for people to sort of go back to as well. And I noticed you had an online cook along.
Yes. That's one thing I was going to hope to promote today, actually. If you go onto our website, so it's ukharvest.org.uk, and scroll along the top, there's various tabs. And under community, we've got a whole section called Nourish Ed, so Nourish Education. And that is just full of money saving, waste preventing, cookery courses and tips. Lots of, as you say, leftover recipe ideas to give you inspiration. So if you've got those last few carrots lying around, you know, I could do it here, I can do that. We are really lucky to work with super creative chefs, and every single day here is like ready, steady, cook. We have no idea what produce is going to be collected from the farms that day. So this morning I've just been over, and there's collie shoots in there, so like long cauliflowers. We've got masses of lovely fresh tomatoes that will probably turn in a couple of days. So we're desperately coming up with lots of more tomato recipes, chilies, all sorts. So that Nourish Ed platform on our website is just great for going on to picking up those recipe and ideas. Also on there, you'll see there's 3 live cook-alongs coming up. And as we all know, we've all had to rein our budgets in. We can't necessarily, Deliveroo, takeaways are all now a luxury. So we've got a series of cook-alongs coming up. There's one on the 30th of September, another one on the 4th of October, another one on the 17th. They're all free to join. And we're doing takeaways. We're going to teach you how to make, I don't know, a cool chili, a bit of a Mexican. We might do, but using really good store cupboard ingredients that you've already probably got at home, and you've forgotten about the paprika in the cupboard and then this, and we'll put that together and you can have a fake away at home. So that's about equipping people with really good cooking skills, but to eat really healthily on a budget.
Great, that's such a good idea as well, because like you say, we all love a cheeky takeaway from time to time. We love to, end our Friday night with something delicious to reward ourselves for the week, but it's about saving the pennies at the moment. And do you know what? A lot of my favourite meals that I make are ones that I sort of think, right, what have I got in the cupboard? How can I make something out of this? And I think, like you say, just sort of showing people, the weirdest mix of ingredients you might not have thought of could make something so delicious and save you so much money. And I think, takeaways are such a good way to start, because, we all love a takeaway, but unfortunately they are just going up in price. And sometimes, you can make something even better than a takeaway at home. So, yeah.
So with that, you're absolutely right. It's cheaper when you do it at home. You can have just lots of fun doing it, especially if it's part of a cook-along. And what we try and embed in all our courses are these sort of food waste tips, so that you're not peeling your veg. You can ditch the peeler. Just give it a scrub. It's got loads of nutrition in the skins of these vegetables and things, and really thinking about what waste you are creating at home, because it's we are very much operating at this industry level, and if you look at the food waste available, we are taking 30% of what gets wasted. That's what happens at farm to sort of shop door level, if you like. But 70% of food waste actually happens at home. So we've all got to work really hard to just reduce our own down. And that's not just like financial, it's also because all of that food, the effort that's gone into growing, and the water and the power and the energy and the transport to get that food and then put it in the bin and throw it into landfill is just tragic. So I feel like that's one environmental thing we can all do to help.
Yeah, that's fascinating you say that, because I guess people do as well, best before dates and sell by dates. They're a guide, but I think a lot of people use them as, Bible, and, things like fresh veg. I get, maybe chicken and things you don't want to use past the date because they can be dangerous, but things like vegetables and fruit, do the sniff test. If you might get the odd squidgy tomato, but they're fine. You can chuck them in a spag bowl. That's fine. I think you're right. I think we waste a lot more than people think, and I've really tried to cut back and think more about what I'm chucking away. And the freezer is my best friend. Everything I can't eat, I just freeze. It's great. So, yeah.
No, it sounds like you're already all over the tips, which is great. I think you're absolutely right. Best before dates, that is literally a guide of quality. It's not a religion in any way. Just use your own judgment. And the only thing we really advocate is if you see a use by date, that's the one you listen to. And as you say, if you get near that and you realize that you're not going to use those chicken breasts tonight, tomorrow night, whack them straight in the freezer. It buys you a massive amount of time. You can literally freeze that for 3 months and then use it when you need it. But you just must freeze if you're coming up against a use by date.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So what about, what do UK Harvest do sort of on the ground level? So I know you have some hubs and some community kitchens and things. Could you tell us a bit more about those?
Totally. We grew massively during COVID, you can imagine, when suddenly all of those routes to hospitality, to schools, restaurants, everything closed. All of that food backed up very, very quickly, and we were literally inundated with the crazy amount of food. And although we were delivering to lots of charities and individuals who were vulnerable and sheltering during COVID, we quite quickly realised that that just wasn't the most effective way of doing it. So we've set up this network of pantries, and we call it a pop-up pantry. And it's really so much more than just food. It's a way of coming together in the community. And the ones that we run down in Chichester, where we're based, we stretch as far as Midhurst and down to Selsey. It's all on our website under pop-up pantry. We turn up for an hour, at say a community centre, and we work really closely with that community to make sure that people from that really local area are coming in. We also target the housing associations in that area. We work with a lot of refugees down in Chichester. We have lovely Afghan families that come to one of our Tangmere ones. It's great. We work with anyone who might be on a tight budget. And the difference with us and food banks is there's no registration. We welcome everyone. You're all working together to try and rescue this food. But people who are on a tight budget can literally pop a suggested donation of £3.50 and bring a bag and rescue the food that they want to feed their family with. So unlike a food bank where you might be thrust, I don't know, it's very much tinned base, chickpeas. This is much more fresh, nutritious, and people can choose. And that selection is really key because they're choosing what they want to feed that family that week. And we can also wrap the food around with advice. Citizens' advice are amazing. They come down to some of our pantries and they can help people get on board with checking what other additional benefits they might have. All of that can be wrapped around, and we engage people around the food. And we've really found post-COVID that, you know, whether it's some elderly people who might have had that sort of isolation, this breaks that social isolation. It brings these communities together, and it's such a happy vibe. The pantries are great. Everyone goes away sharing recipes, ideas, tips on what we can do with the broccoli, or, you know, it's lovely, and it gets people talking and thinking about how to use and expand those diets and not waste food. So that's our pantry network. And then, as you sweetly said, we've also got this fabulous project in London called the Nourish Hub. And I'd encourage anyone in West London to come and visit. It's incredible. We were lucky enough to get funding through the Mayor of London and Hammersmith and Fulham Borough Council to turn one of those, it's like a Sainsbury's local it used to be. It's at the bottom of a big tower block in West London, Shepherd's Bush. And it's now the most thriving community kitchen. So we serve really nutritious, great vegetarian meals every day. There's a suggested donation price of, say, £5 for a curry, delicious curry. But if you can't afford it, that's fine. Don't worry about it. So we target everyone in the community, whether you're working in an office around the corner and you can pop down for a nice affordable lunch, or you might be really struggling and homeless, and we have some lovely guys that come in every single day and have hot food with us. So we're really bringing that whole community together in West London. And what's great as well is the catering kitchen there. The team of chefs who are prepping the food for the cafe every day are really supported by, I mean, none of our operation would happen without volunteers. We've got some lovely volunteers in there who are also learning really key cookery skills. And sometimes it's like a stepping stone for them to get employment, say, at the end of it, and go into the hospitality industry. So we can train up within the kitchen and give them references when they move on. So there's that catering side. And then at the other end of the community cafe is a fabulous training kitchen where we can run targeted courses to families, to different charities we work with to teach those key cooking skills. And in the holidays, obviously, we have the holiday activity program to support those kids on free school meals to learn some great cooking skills and also get a nice hot lunch at the same time. So I can't tell you how many projects are happening all over, but it's really good how we can use food, and this is all rescued food. It's all used to really sustain and engage people around food waste, eating budget meals, and really getting people out of that isolation and coming together around food.
Yeah, I think the word community is perfect for it, because you really are, you know, it's not just about food, it's about, you know, helping people get involved and make friends. And I think that's really lovely, especially as you say, COVID put a lot of people into isolation and people felt very lonely. And, you know, there's a big loneliness issue with elderly people especially, and I think that's a lovely thing, and it gives them a sort of safe space to come and join in. And I also really like, I saw on your website you mentioned there's a suggested donation, but you said you will never turn anyone away. So even if you can only give 10p, you know, that's so lovely to know. And I think that will really reassure a lot of people and take weight off a lot of people's shoulders, especially at the moment. So I think that's really great. I had a couple more questions for you. So obviously you said you were based in Chichester, and you sort of go down to, I saw you doing some things in Brighton where I live actually, and yeah, some lovely little bits. So is it sort of just based sort of down south?
Right, what we do, UK Harvest, the distribution, if you like, the actual rescue operations part of the business is very much, as you say, in Chichester. But in fact, the area we cover, we go as far as Bristol on a Monday and collect from innocent there, who are fantastic. We go right out to Kent and collect there, and into South London. So we cover very much the south of England in terms of our reach. And that's in terms of the donors we pick up from and the charities we support. In terms of other ones, sometimes there's opportunities that come through, you know, amazing amounts of food that might suddenly become available up near Birmingham. We've actually set up during COVID a fantastic thing called the Excess Network. We can put links on, I'm sure, afterwards, but we link up with other similar type charities. So if a massive opportunity comes through to us, we're really good. The whole food rescue world is determined to just not waste. So we will bring partners, it might be the bread and butter thing further north, and we'll say, can you guys rescue this? Because it's just out of our reach. And equally, if there's a massive food or we've got a glut of sweet potatoes, we'll link with City Harvest and do a swap. We'll drive up with potatoes, they'll give us apples and pears. You know, we literally trade food the whole time. So it's a real partnership working. But in terms of, like you said, the projects that people can access, our pantries at the moment are very Sussex-based. All our courses that are available on the website, that's all online, that's nationwide. You go for it, enjoy anywhere you are. And then the London Centre, I mean, obviously, anyone that can get to Shepherd's Bush Tube, we're 5 minutes away from there.
Wonderful. And you said that, you know, you offer a lot of things for free, which I think is amazing. You know, these courses online and these recipes online. So how can people donate to you or volunteer their time? You know, can people just sign up to volunteer, or can they, you know, donate a bit of money if they want to? How does that work?
Brilliant. Absolutely. The easiest thing, like everything, is if you go to our website, the top right, there's a get involved. If you click on there, there's different ways of doing it. We can donate time. And if you want to volunteer for us, absolutely, there's a sign up sheet there. We are always looking for volunteers. The opportunities, if I'm honest, sort of fluctuate depending on the projects we've got involved. But absolutely, it's great to be involved. You'll always have a newsletter that, you know, we keep you up to date with those options. The other click down is obviously donate money. I'm afraid we're a charity. We are totally reliant on donations, on grant funding, some national lottery funding, council funding. We really, really need it to keep those vans on the road, to keep rescuing. So if anyone is able to donate money, then that would be fabulous. And there's a very simple donate button there. The other thing, which is just lovely, is just to sign up to our newsletter link. Very easy to do. And that way you'll just have a newsletter every week with what we're up to as a charity, and you might see the different projects we're involved in, and also some food waste tips. So there are different ways that you can get involved like that.
Wonderful. And do you have any sort of tips just off the top of your head? You know, we've covered a few little tips here and there of just ways people, you know, tonight can look in their fridge and think, right, how can I save, you know, this food, or how can I save that? You know, is there anything that you can do to save yourself a bit of money and sort of prevent some food waste in your home?
Absolutely, there's millions. We often say a lot of it is just organising your fridge. Sometimes it's quite good to have one of the shelves, which is the I need to eat now type fridge. Like, make sure that you've clocked what's in there, and maybe it is the chicken breast that's just about to go off. You make sure that there's a sort of go-to shelf that you use first. And literally, while you're looking at a date, if it's a use by, ignore the best before. If it's a use by, put it in the freezer if you're not going to use it. Definitely, definitely. The other thing we always say is, just before you go to the supermarket, or maybe before you head to work in the morning, take a picture of your fridge, take a picture of your cupboard. So often when you go shopping, you end up buying what you've already got in your fridge. Simple thing, just take that picture and you'll remember not to buy double. You know, plan the meals that you're actually going to eat and be realistic about it. We sometimes have this grand plan of what we're going to shop for the week, and then half of it, you know, doesn't get used for whatever. Really, really think about the meal planning, take that picture of your food, and just try and have you know, eat in the order that you know it's going to run out. But yeah, just get creative, mix things up, try and experiment.
Great. And we've got
some recipe ideas that will always give you inspiration.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so much on your website. And we've got a question here from Chloe who says, really great ideas. Is there any food that shouldn't be frozen?
Any food that shouldn't be frozen. There's sometimes a controversy over egg, but I'm afraid we still freeze eggs. You can break them down and put them, you know, crack them in a bag and do it that way. Right. Shouldn't be frozen. I'm doing a shout out here. I can't think of anything on the top of my head.
Just salad.
Salad, I suppose. Yeah, good call, salad. But anything like herbs, you know, chop it up, put it in some oil, use it in those little ice trays. That would be a great tip. But yeah, no, we haven't found one that's a massive no yet. So we're all about freezing if you can.
That's great. And do you know, there's so many things that people don't think to freeze that freeze fine. I froze hummus, I froze cream cheese. you know, sometimes they separate a bit, just give them a stir and back to normal. I think just trial and error, I think, you know, some things, yeah, they might look a bit dodgy once they're defrosted, but yeah, just give them a stir and they kind of go back to normal. But yeah, I think that's a really, really good tip. I think I've never actually tried to freeze eggs, but I guess that would work. I don't see why that wouldn't work. But yeah, and obviously you spoke about you've got the cook-alongs coming up. Is there any other events that we can look out for? Anything exciting coming up for UK Harvest?
We have got some projects. I'm just wishing we were a couple of days down the line. So I'd really love it if everyone can follow at UK Harvest. For our Instagram, we'll be launching something soon around Halloween, I hope. Some tips, because I'm a real one of like, don't just carve your pumpkin, carve and cook it this year. You know, make sure that things like that just don't get wasted. So follow the Nourish Hub on Instagram. That's all, shows you all those lovely menus that are happening in London every day. But the cook-alongs, please, that's a nationwide program. We would love people to join those cook-alongs, and the more who can engage with that, the better. So try one. See what you think and do that fake away at home.
Yeah, wonderful. And you know what, it's funny you say about pumpkins, because I made a lovely pumpkin soup last year with my pumpkin and toasted the seeds, and that was delicious. So I think it's great. Like, I think once you get into that mindset of, right, I've got some leftovers, what can I do with it? Right, I've got a random bit of pumpkin, what can I do? And you know, my mum, she's a very frugal woman. She's taught me all I know, bless her. And she always says freeze all your sort of vegetable scrapings and things and make some vegetable stock out of them. And I think that's such a nice idea. And it's you think, oh, it's a bit weird just shoving loads of vegetable peel in water, but it's great. It's so delicious and it's so cheap to make. And again, just another way to prevent that waste, which is great.
We actually had a lovely team of volunteers in here earlier, and they've been making, so you peel potatoes, because we did actually need to peel them for this project we were doing, but all of the peelings, we literally just put a little bit of curry powder on, a bit of oil, put them in the oven. It's the most delicious, like sort of potato peel crisps and things. So I'm like you, make yourself a challenge. Like, what can I do with these? Just avoid putting anything in the bin, please, please, please.
Yeah. And if you do, compost it. Don't put it in the general waste.
If you're feeling guilty, donate to UK Harvest. There you go.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. Just before we go, I was going to say, you know, obviously the colder months are coming and Christmas is coming up. And if there is anyone watching or who watches this back that maybe knows someone at Christmas that maybe is homeless or something like that, are you open during the Christmas period? Are you sort of helping people out at that time?
We are literally just putting together our program for Christmas. So I think the best thing is please look at the website. Absolutely. We will obviously extend the help as much as we can. And we are working with other projects. So we'll always signpost to other additional support if we need to. And up to Christmas, we'll be doing loads of, we'll do different education classes about just how not to overbuy for Christmas. Just plan and don't overdo it, because it really is a sort of time of year where there is a lot of food waste that's so avoidable. So I think this year, particularly when budgets are tight, we're going to make sure that people don't overspend. But yeah, no, lots to share, and keep following us. But yes, we will be supporting as many people as we can this winter. So the more donations, the better. And if anyone level, absolutely, there's a donate food button also on the website. So we will work with any food brands, industry partners, growers who are able to link up with us. That would be great.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much. I've been chatting with Sarah Morison from UK Harvest. So make sure you follow UK Harvest. Follow, was it Nourish Hub?
The Nourish Hub, yeah, is our London community cafe. But it's all, you can see the link certainly through at UK Harvest.
Wonderful. And make sure to check out the UK Harvest website. You can volunteer, you can donate, or just check out their amazing recipes. They've got some really nice things on there. So definitely check that out. You've got some casseroles, you've got some pies, you've got everything. So definitely, if you're stuck for recipes, definitely check out UK Harvest. We'll be popping this live on our YouTube channel and on our website. So you can watch it back if you've just come in. And we'll be linking to the UK Harvest website so you can find them there as well.
Brilliant. Oh, Gemma, it's so nice to share it all with you today. It really is. And the more people that can join the cook-alongs and share the word, that would be fantastic. Really. Great. Oh, that's great news. Lovely to chat to you today.
Thank you so much for your time.
Pleasure. Pleasure.
Thank you. Speak soon.
Will do. Bye.
Bye.